I love the tactileness of being able to work with a lot of different mediums. Yeah, oil stick with paper and acrylic paints, and I love the way the oil is repelled from the acrylic because it's water-based, and you get some really cool effects and different types of, as Bob Ross would tell us, happy accidents. Hi, my name is Don Quade. I grew up in El Paso, Texas, which is basically in the middle of the desert, right there on the border of Mexico. It's a very high desert, dry environment, but I really like that. It reminds me a lot of Santa Fe being a high desert as well. So I'm influenced by, the lighting. That's one of the big things. The clarity of light in the Southwest is like unparalleled, like from anywhere else. I have a nice garden, and I like to, kind of monitor and journal the seasons, if you will. And that journaling is really like taking those ideas and putting them into a painting. So based on the season will oftentimes determine my color palette and some of the imagery. I would paint on wood panels because I like using wood, so I can add collage elements. Being able to use all of these different types of things in a new way so that people see them in a different way is something that I really enjoy doing. It's one of the things I think is important about what I have to say and in my work. Like a lot of shapes that I use this, described as a spiral or a squiggle or a swirl. And I think you see that in nature a lot of times, especially in the spring with new growth. If you see a clematis vine that's growing, it sends up these little tendrils that latch onto stuff, and a fern, when it's coming out of the ground, is very spiral in shape. But also I think of that as, I remember being a kid and reading a book, and they were talking about the wind, and it was a picture of a cloud, and it was blowing, and there was these little curlies coming out of it, and I'm like, that's kind of like the symbol for wind. And when I'm doing a painting, I try and use those symbols, and they may not translate directly to the viewer to know that that's what that is, but when I'm painting, I think of those types of things of, this is a picture of a garden scene, but there's wind blowing a dandelion, for example, and so I'll put that in there. When people are looking at my work, I really want them to bring their own experiences and perceptions to the piece. I know what I'm thinking, and sometimes it becomes a little apparent, but I don't want it to be obvious. And so I really appreciate when people bring their own, past experience of seeing something. The beauty of nature and kind of slowing down and appreciate it. We've all heard that saying, take time to stop and smell the roses. And I feel like that's something that I'm pretty good about doing. I do have a pretty busy life, and so I have to consciously make myself stop and do that. And so when I'm painting, I'm clearly stopping to make this painting, but I also want other people to see painting and saying, oh yeah, it's making me stop, it's making me think, it's making me, and I think that's always a good thing for us to do, is to hit that pause button. I think travel is one of the things that influences my work a lot. I really do like to travel, and I like to experience new things and see new things. Especially as you get older, you experience first things less and less because you've been around for a while. And so being able to go somewhere entirely new is an exciting experience for me, to visually see things and to sort of bring that overall sensory experience of being in a market in central Mexico, for example, and all the different sights and smells and the bright colors or the spices that are piled up, and those different types of things make you think about different ideas and compositions. So my mind's always like taking these little snapshots. I'm just happy to be here, happy to be alive, happy to be able to share my experience and my love of nature and of the garden, and to be able to bring it to people who also appreciate it in a very different way, and to just have a pause in their day to bring joy, to see something beautiful. We don't ever know what people are going through, but when they come into the gallery and they connect with a piece of artwork, just that moment could be, the highlight of their day.